Hey, good afternoon, fam. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday to everybody. Happy Sunday to everybody. Hope everybody is well. Listen, I want to take a moment out, right? Because as I was reviewing a video that I did a while back, that's still getting a lot of views right now, and people are still commenting. That video is probably like almost a month old now, probably 3 weeks or so. And as I'm watching that video and looking at the comments that people are responding to, there was some people, because the title of the video is and let me get this right, is you shouldn't buy a home unless you're married. Somewhere around there, right? I believe that's the title. You shouldn't buy a home unless you're married. And a lot of people had their opinion about that, and which is fine. So I wanted to some people was like, no, I'd rather be single. No, I don't want nobody living with me. No, I don't want nobody in my house. I don't want nobody to take my house. You know what I'm saying? That's the majority of the one I was against. I don't want nobody to take my house. Understand that. We live in America. We know, sometimes what their marriage laws are. But here's what I will say though. And this is why I've always said sometimes not everybody needs to be a home. Needs to be in a home. I'm sorry. Because no matter which way you slice it, right? Buying a home is a massive responsibility. It is a massive financial responsibility. And I personally believe that if you're gonna do it, it demands what I would like to call couple power. That's me personally. And which the Bureau, the Bureau of Statistics actually did say that most homeowners are married couple. Now, why is this important? Give an example. If you buy a house for $500,000 and you are financing it on your own, let's say you make $150K a year and you can finance that on your own, on paper. Let's say you can finance it because of your income and your credit, right? Good. Now what happens is you're taken away from something because you're doing it on your own. Most likely what you're taken away from, in most cases that I found, is your long-term savings. I also did a little bit of research. I want to find out what percentage of married couples actually pay their house off compared to single people. It didn't really give me actual data, but what it did say is the probability of a married couple paying their home off sooner than later compared to a single individual is higher. It's only common sense. When you got two people, let's say you got a husband and wife, for example. Let's say the husband is making 150. Let's say the wife is making 100. And let's say they both decide to come up with a game plan. Our mortgage is $3,800 a month. but we're gonna do $6,000 a month. What's the likelihood of that property being paid off sooner than later? Very high, right? Cool. What does that now do? That now helps you eliminate a boat load of interest. That's what that does. It helps you eliminate a boat load of interest. Now, that's one, which is money you could ultimately end up using in retirement. Now, let's go into retirement now. If you now are able to pay your house off at that pace, let's say in 12 to 15 years, compared to 30 years, you and your spouse can now start to contribute heavily into your retirement plan. And I say you and your spouse because right now, the average 401k balance is like $178,000. That's how much the average 401k balance is right now. Nobody is going to retire off of that. So, you need two people to come together to get things done. That's just my take on it. I'm not telling people to go out here and get married. I'm not telling people that they can't succeed without being married. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, some of y'all don't need to be out here in these streets. Some of y'all need to pull your resources, right? And see how you can get to the end goal sooner than later. Okay? A lot of y'all are living well above your means. A lot of y'all. I will say this, and I said before, whenever I've sat down with clients, when I look at a financial portfolio, and this is if both, let's say for example, it's a husband and wife, and both spouses are working, is what I mean. Okay? In a scenario where you have a husband and wife who are working, and we pull their portfolio and what they have going on compared to a single individual, and we pull their portfolio, and let's say they have the same price house, 500 grand each. So the single person has a 500k home, and the married couple has a 500k home. Most of the time, in not only all cases, but most of the time, the rates are just slightly lower if it's a couple for the mortgage. And then when we now look at investment portfolio, most of the time they have things going for them. Okay? They have savings and they have a significant amount compared to a single individual who most of the time don't have any savings going because they're pulling the weight all by themselves. And if they do have savings going, it's next to nothing. Because again, they're pulling the weight all by themselves. Now, there's going to be some people who are going to watch this and again say, oh, no, I don't need to be married to own a home. You don't. Again, I'm not telling you to. I'm just telling you to look at what's going to happen if you're doing it all by yourself. And some people are going to watch this and say, oh, you know, a man's supposed to pay all the bills and whatever. This is not 1860. This is a different time that we're in. Okay? This time that we're in, I believe, is a time that's designed to extract as much of your wealth from you as possible. By design. And you're either gonna play along with that game or you're gonna combat it with a plan to get off of that hamster wheel that they have you on. Constantly spinning your wheels and not going anywhere in life. This is a thought that I was having, because again, when I sit down with my clients who are married, and I'm looking at, like, I want to say 80% of the time, they usually have a better retirement portfolio balance than single people. They usually have a heftier retirement balance than single people. They're usually also on pace to paying off their mortgage sooner than later. They usually also too are on the verge of paying down their debt sooner than a single person. Because, how you doing? Because they're doing it with the power of two compared to just one individual who's doing it by themselves. You know how they say teamwork makes the dream work? That's the real thing. Hey. You know how teamwork makes the dream work? That's the real thing. So, how you doing, man? So, I want to take a moment to share that with you guys today as we are closing out the year. I'm not telling you guys again to go out and get married or to just pull anybody and say, hey, you know, come jump the broom with me. Nah, that's not what I'm saying to you guys. But what I am saying is, based on the datas and based on the numbers that I'm looking at, right? It seems to me that the married couple have a whole lot more going on than the single people. As a matter of fact, they also even have more in emergency funds than single people. Which means if something jumps off, they can handle it. Most single people are one paycheck away from everything going down. You hear me? Most single person, even the single person who make $100K a year, is living paycheck to paycheck. Listen, I want you guys to think about this for a second. If your wife is making 100 and your husband's making 100, okay? What's the likelihood of your stress level being lower? in reference to bills is what I mean. It's just a thought. What is your likelihood of your bills being paid on time? If both parties, huh? Yes, I am. YouTube. Yeah. Ain't that much right now. It's about 400. Yeah. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Maxwell. Yeah, follow me, man. All right, let me give you my own. Yeah, I do a lot about finances and retirement investments. Yeah. My Instagram is Titan Evolution Group. Oh yeah? What do you do?
We're moving on to Twitch right now.
Okay.
Doing like modeling content for real.
That's me right there.
Just follow.
Yeah, and I'll follow you too, brother. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one. You too. Thank you. Yeah, I meet people every day. People are connecting with me, so which is cool. And I'm out here to empower people, right? So listen, I'm a numbers person. I'm strictly a numbers person. And you know, I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and you know, she's from the old school thought process, where as though the husband take care of everything, and which is cool. Here's the deal. The way I look at that is this: if your husband is making enough money and you guys have, and you guys are living well below your means, then yeah, that's fine. If your husband is not making, like, even a person who's making 100K a year right now is struggling. It's just the times that we're in, and I need a lot of people to understand that. Now, I always say this: you can work with your spouse to make sure that you guys eliminate a lot of debt sooner than later, and have massive amount of money saved up. So now the spouse can stop working and stay home. You know, either that or find yourself a millionaire. Because this is not, you know, the 70s where a loaf of bread was 59 cents. You know, you can get a full grocery. You can get a full bag of groceries, like trunk full, for $100. Okay, you could buy a brand new car for $3,000. This is not those days. A brand new Nissan Altima right now is about $40,000 for a Nissan Altima. So I look at this as, listen, if you're a couple, you're either gonna have a goal or you're gonna be in this hamster wheel that's designed. You know what I'm saying? Only about 10% of the people figure the formula out and jump off the hamster wheel. The other 90% plus people are gonna be on this hamster wheel forever. Okay? Over 37% of the people, right, die with the mortgage. Can you imagine that? You buy a house thinking, or they tell you that, you know, you're gonna pay, you can pay it off, and the house will be your investment. Come to find out, you die while you're still paying the bill, which is crazy. You die with a debt, and then you have. Let me say this, and I usually touch on this, but I never talk about the one side that they bring up, because it is a sensitive subject for a lot of people. Okay? There was an article that came out I believe last year or the year before last year, that talks about women who retire usually end up going financially bankrupt 5 years later. Women who retire usually end up going financially bankrupt 5 years later. And when they look at the data, most, not all, but most of the women that fall into that category are usually unmarried women. I've been talking about this for a minute, but I always leave that part out because it is a sensitive topic for most people. But I always tell people, you have a choice. You could either get mad at the truth or you can figure out a way to fix it. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. There's nothing you can do about it. Because everything is numbers. And when you think about it, it does kind of make sense. Because when you have couples doing it together, it's so much more easier to, if you think about some of your favorite artists, athletes, whatever. Let's look at Jay-Z and Beyonce. I believe total combined net worth is almost $2 billion. Now, Jay-Z is rich. Why is Beyonce still working? Because they have a master plan. Listen, y'all don't want to hear this. Jay-Z is rich. Why is Beyonce still performing? She could be at home, taking care of the kids, but Beyonce say no. Me and my husband have a goal here, and I'm gonna keep putting in work. Right? So yeah, I'm just keeping it 100. And again, a lot of people are not gonna like this conversation because it's just hitting home for a lot of people. Everybody want to be single out here in these streets. The streets don't want you. The streets, trust me, is not where you want to be. Right? So, I want to take a moment to have a conversation with you guys about just strictly data. Data means a lot. Some people will hear this and say, oh, that's not everybody. That is a fact. That's why it's the data. It's a collective. Okay? The data is there to tell a story. Right? And you take that data to help you make wise decisions. I'm an example. Let's say you love gambling. And let's say there's a casino in Baltimore. There's one in Glen Burnie. There's one in Delaware. And they say, hey, this one in Baltimore, everybody who goes there based on data never wins and lose money. This one in Delaware, 50% of the people that go there make money. This one in Glen Burnie, 10 to 50% of the people that go there make money. Which one, based on the data, would you go to? That's all the data is. It gives you viable information for you to now take and make wise decisions based on what you want to do for your life and for yourself. Listen, I hope this message reach the right person well today. Okay? I hope this message helps the individual who wants to help, the individual who's willing to take this in and not be emotional about it, but use a logical thought process about the information. I think in America, we've been programmed for singleness. Listen, I'm gonna close with that. Hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed rest of your day. You guys know what I do. If you want to follow me, if you're not subscribed to my channel and you got value from what I spoke about today, okay, please subscribe. If you like what I spoke about today, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you feel as though that you know somebody who needs to hear this, please share it with them. All right? Also, too, I am in financial services. If you want to sit down and look into some life insurance for yourself, if you don't have any, or you feel as though you want to see if yours is still current dated or outdated, or you're looking to start to plan for retirement because you don't have any retirement income and you're a little bit worried and you want to get that going, text me at 443-208-5480. That's 443-208-5480. Or you can go to my site, which is TitanEvolutionGroup.com. That's TitanEvolutionGroup.com. Other than that, guys, hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed rest of your Sunday. I'll talk to y'all soon.